Hello?
Yeah, hello. Good evening, Mrs. Leslie Kean. Yeah,
Yeah. Hi.
I'm saying right.
You are perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh, Firstly, I will be honest to you. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm talking with you.
You don't have
Okay.
to be nervous. I talk to people all the time. It's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm so excited to talk to a group from Indonesia because I've
Yeah.
never done it before. Never. So for me, really fun.
Wait, I will change the Zoom appearance into speaker because we know talking in gallery mode, so many people pop up in the screen. So I will change to speaker now. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Is it okay? Can you hear
yeah,
me okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good.
So,
Good.
good evening, Mrs. Leslie King.
Good evening to
So,
you. Everyone is here.
yeah,
It's a morning, though morning for you. Good morning.
yeah. Thank you. And in your place is it's evening, right?
It's pretty late, 9:30 at night. Yeah.
Pretty late. And it is summer or summer, right?
Yeah, summer.
Su-
Summer.
Summer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Kane, I hope you are doing well.
Thank
And it
you.
is such an honor to have you with us. Thank you for being here.
I'm happy to be here. Very
Yeah,
happy.
yeah. And I must say to you because your books has deeply influenced me approach about UFO subject.
I'm so happy.
So
So glad.
yeah, thank you very much for your dedication to responsible journalism in this field. In the subject that maybe, in my opinion, maybe scientists still underestimate about UFO and skepticism is uh, make a fun for this subject.
Right. It's
So,
much better though now than it was when I wrote the book.
pardon?
It's the skepticism is better now. There's not so much skepticism now as there was when I wrote the book.
Oh,
It's
really?
it's better now.
Uh, can you tell me what's different skepticism when you write this or wrote this book with
Yeah.
this modern era?
Yeah, because the book was written 15 years ago.
Huh?
Right, in 2010. And then in 2017, we had this article in the New York Times that I helped write. I don't know if you're aware of this article that came out in 2017 that kind of changed everything in America. And so that now the government has become involved, and there have been congressional hearings, and there's been legislation, and a lot has happened to kind of add credibility to the topic. So the skepticism is still there, but it's not nearly as bad as it was.
Hmm.
I just want to make sure that you can understand me okay, that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
hear that I'm not talking too fast.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
understand something, just ask me and I'll clarify. Um,
Yeah. But
yeah,
I think okay, but skepticism now has social media and they can talk
right.
talking bad about UFO and one of I think they are I think they most of them like underestimate about the sighting, the witnesses, absolute, especially in New Jersey, about a mysterious drone.
Right.
So, maybe, Mrs. Kane, we can talk more deeply about this book. So,
Sure.
I will go for first question. Uh, First question is, what was the most important moment or case that compelled you to write this book? Was there a personal experience or even that marked a turning point?
Oh, that's a great question. It's hard to say one
Oh,
case.
okay.
It's hard to pick one, but the way the book started was a few years before I wrote it. I organized a press conference in New York, in Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
And a lot of the people who contributed to the book, who wrote chapters, were at that press conference, and you can watch it on YouTube.
yes.
And I got to meet people like Parviz Jafari from Iran, for instance, or Oscar Santa Maria. Those are two that stood out for me. The two people that actually interacted with the UFOs and tried to shoot them down. Do you remember those stories? That was of the Iranian case, and then
Yes,
the one.
F4 Phantom.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And I got to meet both those pilots, and they were very inspiring to me. And I think those were two of the most important cases to me because they're so rare that any pilot actually tried to shoot at a UFO.
yeah, yeah.
And in both those cases, they did, and they weren't successful, of course, but which is probably a good thing. But there was such an incredible interaction between those pilots and the UFOs, which was very unusual. Um, so I found those cases really interesting. And the Rendlesham Forest case in England. You remember that from the book? And I think it was 19, was it 88? In England, the Rendlesham Forest,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Randall
where
Sam
the
Forest. Yeah,
UFO landed. It landed in the forest,
yeah.
yeah. And I also got to meet Charles Holt from that case and James Peniston. So I think a lot of for me, what for me was important was actually meeting the people who inspired me to write the book.
And
Yeah.
and I remember you explain in this book that the contributors they are uh, that was the first meeting they meet each other. Am I right? Oh
You
yeah,
have yeah, you have a very good memory because that was just like one little section in that
yeah,
book.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was, you're absolutely right. That was really powerful for me to be present when they met each other for the first time. These two pilots from different parts of the world, both who attempted to shoot down a UFO within 4 years of each other. They had never spoken to each other before. So that was really, really moving to see them meet. We were in a restaurant, I remember, and
In a
they
restaurant?
in a restaurant because I think one of them came in late and it might have been, I don't know which one, but it might have been Oscar Santa Maria from Peru came to the restaurant where we were all sitting. And then when Parviz Jafari told his story to Oscar Santa Maria, he was like drawing pictures on the napkins in the restaurant of it was really, and
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
saved, I saved one of those, but I don't know if I still have it.
Oh,
I
wow.
think Yeah, it was really, really special to hear them interact and talk to each other. You're absolutely right. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's really
Uh,
important. Yeah.
yeah, I was thought the first meeting was in like something office government or but it's a restaurant.
Yeah, I was in a restaurant, but it was at a press conference in Washington
Okay.
that I organized with James Fox, a filmmaker, and we had a lot of people came in, officials came in from other countries to be at our press conference. So there were, government officials from France and England, and then they were from Peru and Iran. A lot of them were from England and France, the people that came, and Belgium. We had
Yeah.
General Jafari, I mean, General De Brouwer from Belgium,
Yeah,
who
the
was,
the the, the Brower, yeah.
yeah, he was there. I mean, really, really amazing. He was an inspiration to me also for writing the book. I just thought like these, at the press conference, they were only able to talk for 5 minutes. And then there were questions because there was a lot of them. And I just felt when I heard the 5 minutes, I felt these people have so much more to say than they can say in 5 minutes. So I wanted to give them an opportunity to tell their story in more detail. And that was partly, that was why I wrote the book, so they could write chapters and really say more in the book than they could ever say in 5 minutes at a press conference. So that was all, it was all the inspiration. The press conference was in 2007. And I think it's on YouTube, and it's really wonderful to watch that if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think I haven't seen that, but yeah, I will try to find. And I want to know why they were not afraid to tell you about their experience. They are from military, right? But why
Yeah,
they were?
it's a good question. I think it's because they were retired.
Ah, I see.
Once they retire, they're much freer to talk. I mean, in America, same thing. If they're active duty, they're way more restricted than they are if they're retired. And the other thing is that the other countries are not as strict about that as America. Like, I don't think other countries tell them they can't talk. But in America,
Yeah,
they do that. In America, the people are way very much more secretive. But in Iran, that case was all over the news and it was public, that case in Iran with Parviz Jafari. So I don't think he was ever required to not talk. Yeah, it's just different in other countries. They have more freedom.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and so it was harder to find Americans than it was to find people. I mean, we had Ray Bowyer from England. Remember, he wrote a chapter in my book from the Channel Islands, the pilot who saw the huge. There were two of them driving a private plane over the Channel Islands. I don't know if you remember his chapter. It's Ray Bowyer was the name of the pilot.
yeah. Uh,
Um,
yeah,
and
yeah. Yeah, I remember. And
you remember that
he
one?
he saw two UFO like ellipse
Exactly,
with black part,
exactly right.
and the passengers saw too. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, you read the book so carefully. You have a great memory
Yeah.
for it. But one of the points he made at the press conference, and I also got to meet him, was that in England, there's no restrictions for anybody to talk like there would be in America. He was shocked that American pilots did not were not encouraged to report UFO sightings. He just couldn't understand. He says, "What? In our country, we're required to report something like that." And so it was very important to hear him say that because in America, the government doesn't want them to report it. It doesn't want them to talk about it. And he was showing us the difference in England and where and his airline gave him full permission. They didn't try to stop him from talking. And he filled out a form for the government and drew a
Yeah.
picture of the UFO and everything. And so he was like, come over here. And it's like he could not understand why our pilots are not also encouraged to file reports. So it was very good to hear him say that to everybody listening.
Uh, comparing to Indonesia, I don't know if our pilots allowed to tell about their experience or not, but our people who use social media like to mocking about UFO topics,
Oh, it's
and
terrible.
yeah,
Yeah. The
and yeah, but
pilot, you ever hear about pilots in Indonesia that see UFOs?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
And do
he
they
saw
talk
it
about it?
twice. Yeah, yeah. He talked and he record.
That's great. Oh, he record like a video or he
Yeah,
just record what happened or
yes. He record to video, and I will send the video in your email, so
okay,
you
love to see
can
that. That's
yeah, you can watch.
so
Okay.
does the government in Indonesia tell the pilots that they want them to report or are they discouraging them from reporting?
They are not discouraging the report, but in my opinion, I think the government just didn't care about.
Yeah. That's how it is in a lot of places. It's just not high on the list, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Not important.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yeah, but
Okay. About the second question, Why
Mhm.
did you choose to focus on military and government witnesses rather than civilian accounts? What unique value do their testimonies bring?
Well, that's a good question. And the only reason I did was because those are the kinds of witnesses that the American government will pay attention to. I don't
Mm,
think their sightings are any more important than anyone else's sightings, you know?
yeah,
But there's two things. Number one, they often have a lot of data because, they're up in the air in a plane and they can collect data that relates to their sighting, right? So, and they're trained to be able to tell when something is unusual. They have a level of training, the pilots, that the average person doesn't have. And the military, the same thing. I mean, they have a level of training. They usually have more data,
yeah,
and they have a credibility that our government officials will pay attention to. And they should pay attention to everyone. But you have to start with those people. And since a book like mine had never been written before, I knew that I had to bring those kinds of people forward, or nobody in Congress would pay any attention, basically. That's
yeah.
just how it is. Yeah. And so that's why I focused on them. It was really important for the credibility of the UFO issue and for the government to pay attention. I had to do that.
Yeah, yeah. You also told in this book about that a pilot is trained well to see and identifying uh, what in the sky or something in the sky rather than civilian people. Maybe civilian people are still confused about is that satellite or UFO or something like that, but pilot trained well to see something about that.
That's
Uh,
correct. And the pilot has access to data too. If the pilot isn't sure, if it's a satellite, he can find out really easily because he
yes.
knows how to get the information he needs. And I don't think many people understand on the ground how to do that. But I mean, nowadays there's a lot more, databases and apps and things like that that regular people can use that help them to distinguish different types of things. So the average citizens are getting way more trained. The average citizens are much better now at recognizing things in the sky than they used to be. And I think I think all the witness reports are important, especially when there's more than one person that sees it.
Yes.
You have multiple witnesses, and especially if you've got video, and it depends on how many witnesses there are and how much information you have for a sighting. Um, but I think people are learning more and more all the time how to distinguish, something unusual from things you can explain. So it's getting better that, and I think the citizens are getting more, they're treated better than they used to be in America anyway, taken more seriously than they used to be.
And based on your experience so far, uh, could you explain to us how to know credible witness in civilization, not from military or not from pilot, just common people or just normal people? What criteria to say this witness is credible or not?
Yeah, that's really a good question because it's hard to know.
Yes.
I mean, I would encourage if somebody has a sighting, first of all, are they willing to write it to file, or is there any group where they can go in your country to file a written report? Is
Yes.
okay.
But just not from government, just from my
Just
organization.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in America, we have MUFON, we have
Yeah, yeah.
organizations. So I would think, first of all, if they're willing to go and write up a report, that's a sign of, credibility. I mean, I don't know if they would bother to do that unless they really thought they saw something. And then I think you have to think about, who they are as a person. I mean, obviously, if they have a track record of lying or committing crimes or something, you don't want to, you're going to be concerned. So they have to have integrity and be honest people. And then I think there's also just questions around the sighting, like how many people saw it? what kind of detail can they provide about the sighting? Was it in daytime? Was it at nighttime? The more detail you have, the more credibility you have for a case, because you need a lot of information in order to be able to eliminate conventional things, right? You have to know a lot about the sighting and even to determine if it's a UFO.
So
So
the
I think
more
it's
details is more better.
the more details, absolutely, and then you could, yeah, and the more witnesses. I mean, if you have two people see something, it's way better than having only one person.
Yes, yeah.
And if you have more than that, it's even better, especially if they're in different locations, they're not together, and they all see the same thing. I mean, that's really, really, really credible.
Yeah, yeah. Just like in the Belgian UFO wave that you write. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. The
The
Belgian one where you had in that first night, you had like all these people in different locations. And same with the Phoenix Lights in America.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Arizona, Phoenix Light.
Hundreds of witnesses, see the thing traveling over a long distance. Cases like that, when you have that many eyewitness reports, those are credible reports because everybody's confirming what everybody else is seeing, right? So, but if you have somebody out in their backyard and they've had a bunch of beers, right, or they're drinking, at 3 in the morning,
Yeah,
and oh yeah, you just you have to put together all the circumstances, the nature of the person, how much detail they have, what kind of state of mind were they in
yeah,
when they saw it, how many people saw it, all the different details that you need, and then you just have to assess whether you believe that they were credible and see if you can investigate their sighting. See what you can learn about it. See if you can if anybody reported anything to the police or the military, or was the military testing some kind of strange aircraft at that time? You've got to like find out what was in the sky at the time. It's a long process. It's very hard to investigate these cases. But I think a
yes,
lot
yes,
of it's just common sense. You just use your common sense to assess whether somebody's honest and whether they seem intelligent
yes,
and seem to care, whether something weird is going on with them or not, and what were the circumstances that they were in when they saw the object, and how many people, and all of that. You put it all together, and then you just have to decide what you're going to do with that information. But you probably get people reporting things to your group, right?
yeah. And here's the famous Belgian UFO, right?
Yeah, although that photograph has now we don't know if that photograph is authentic or not, but I think it probably is. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's
Uh,
okay. Yeah, because the guy who took that photograph came out in 2011 and said he had faked it. But I don't think he necessarily did, because then he came, I think years later, then he changed his mind and said he didn't fake it. So I don't know. It's a great photograph, though. Yeah, I mean, that was a spectacular series of sightings in Belgium. Just incredible. They have like volumes of reports, like four or five thick books of, all the reports that the witnesses filed. Just incredible. They have so much information.
will Belgian government open to public about their report?
Oh yeah, they were always very open about it. I
Oh.
mean, they really were. They were so different than the United States because they were open about their investigation and they worked with the scientists and they held a press conference, and they put out information about it, which we never were doing in the United States back then. We are more now, but not then. We would never do something like that. So it was
Yeah,
very interesting to see the difference between how the Belgian Air Force handled this versus how the United States Air Force handled the wave in the Hudson Valley in New York, which was only a few years before the Belgian wave. So America's really been terrible in terms of being, investigating and taking it seriously. And so that's why in my book, I wanted to include cases from other countries so we could see the difference, that the other countries are much more open. The governments are more open about it. And that was true for Belgium for sure. Yeah.
someone asks in the commenter section, um, Is there any relation with a UFO begin with uh, nuke problem or nuke crisis at the time?
I'm not that I'm aware of. I don't know what they mean by the nuke crisis exactly, but I have no, I mean, General de Brouwer never mentioned there being any connection. So I'm
Okay.
not aware of any connection, but maybe there's things I don't know. But I would say no.
Okay. And the third question is, among all the cases featured, which one most strongly convinces you that we may be dealing with non-human technology?
Wow, it's such a cool question. There are so many. I mean, I mentioned already the Peruvian case, right? Where they were in 1980, where Oscar Santa Maria tried to shoot this thing down. And then I also mentioned the Iranian case.
Yes.
Those are powerful cases of non-human technology. I mean, to me, they really stand out. I think the Ray Bowyer case, which we also mentioned. I mean, really, every case in my book, I think strongly suggests that, unless it's some secret technology that the United States was testing, um, which I strongly doubt. I mean, I just doubt that I mean, maybe in Phoenix it was American technology. I don't know. But I think the Iranian case and the Peruvian case, also because they were earlier, 1976, we didn't have technology that Parviz Jafari reported seeing, right?
Yes.
This diamond shaped thing that was flashing, and I just don't see how that could possibly be human technology, because it was so long ago. And same with the Peruvian one, 1980. How many years ago was that? We didn't have things that could do that then.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the earlier the case is, the less likely it is that it's human technology. Because, for obvious reasons. So you can't rule it out 100%. But also in Belgium, I mean, General de Brouwer went to the other governments and asked, "Is this yours?" And they all said no,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't be flying things around this little section of Belgium for a year. Why would they do that? What? It doesn't make
Yeah.
any, without even telling the government of, that they're test flying something, and I don't know. So, I mean, we always have to be open to the possibility that maybe some of those cases are human technology, but I don't think it's possible that all of them are. I just can't imagine that that could be true. And I
Ah.
believe that there is that I believe that we are observing non-human technology, and even our American government now says that. I mean, it's pretty much of a fact that the technology we're seeing is not made by humans. I think that's kind of considered to be a fact now. Um, so yeah, you just can't rule that out. You can't say none of it is non-human. Some of it definitely is, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But may I know why in the books, in this book, I mean, you
Mhm.
don't discuss about alien, just non-human technology. Is there any reason?
You mean that I don't talk about alien beings,
Yeah, yeah.
or
In this book, you're just saying non-human intelligent technology.
uh, the reason is, and there was an important reason for that, which was, if I went too far in what I said and talked about aliens, the US government people would dismiss the book, right?
Ah, I see.
It was like I was trying to reach the government really with this book. I said to myself, what could I hand to a member of Congress and expect them to take it seriously? And
Yes.
so that's why it was all like very, very well documented military and pilot cases. And that's why I never said really that they're non-human technology. I just said we don't know what they are.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So if I had said these are alien, they would have probably laughed and walked out of the room. I had to give something that would allow them to feel comfortable taking it seriously. So
Um,
it was very understated. It
yeah.
was very bare, the bare minimum because they weren't ready to hear too much. Because in our country at that time, this was totally taboo, right?
Yes.
Totally taboo. So you have to start with the most convincing cases and you have to say, you government, you need to investigate this. You make them think we need you. We need you to tell us what they are because we don't know what they are. And that
Yeah.
that inspires them to get involved. Whereas if we come out and said, "Oh, these are aliens," they would say, "What are you talking about? There's no aliens." It would just be messy. You, under,
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's strategic. It's just strategy. You decide what's going to work at a given time in history. What is going to be most effective to get action from the government? And I was very careful about doing that and being very careful about what I said.
Yes, maybe if you saying about if you are telling about yes, it is alien spacecraft, and maybe they just laughing, and maybe they will think that you trapped in science fiction movie,
Right,
but
exactly.
but what you want to tell is about the truth, about the fact that the event is happens, and we have the witness.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I let the witnesses themselves, they said, I believe this is alien to like Parviz Jafari and people like that who wrote their chapters, they said, I believe these are aliens, right? I
yeah,
didn't say as a journalist because I don't know. I can't say that I know for sure, but the witnesses, they all said it pretty
yes.
much. The message was in the book. It just didn't come directly from me, which is one reason why I wanted those people to write the chapters because they have a freedom to say things that I really can't say as a reporter. I can't say that I've taken any of those spacecraft into a lab and have them tested and then I'm certain that they're alien. I just can't make that claim, but they can. And I can certainly say we don't know what they are. It doesn't, it appears that they're non-human. It appears that th're way ahead of what we are capable of producing, and therefore we need to investigate them. That was the point I was trying to make. Get the government involved, make them think we need them to investigate and look at it as a national security problem. And that's what gets them involved.
Yes, yes.
I hope that
And
makes yeah.
I remember the pilot from Iron Incident in the last maybe in the last chapter of the Tehran incident. He wrote that uh, if uh, the UFO from another planet, I want I want they to took me to another planet.
Right. I know, right? I
Yeah.
think yeah, I wanted to go there and and they often say that I want to fly there, I want to fly that UFO or I
Yeah.
want to yeah, Parviz Jafari from Iran, I keep talking about him, the general who was had that interaction.
Yes.
He said his biggest regret was that he didn't try and communicate with them.
Yes, yes. Yeah. If
So yeah, or that yeah, they want to go in the spaceship, they want to communicate, they're very curious about what it is. And they often regret that they, were frightened but it's understandable that they were afraid. They don't know what they're dealing with. It's something very powerful that could knock them right out of the sky if it wanted to. So it's a frightening thing to encounter something like that.
yes,
Yeah. So yeah.
and he also screamed when the smaller UFO suddenly came to in front of his phantom, and he thought it was like a rocket or missile. I don't know.
Yeah. He tried
Yeah.
twice tried to shoot it down because he thought it was going to hit his plane. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. He had to
Uh,
defend him.
we have a question in the comment section
Okay.
from Dwinanto. Regarding your book, there are several interesting things from the result of your investigation. One of which is how government authorities treat pilots who report encounter with UFOs. What is the current situation in the United States when a pilot reports an encounter with UFO?
Yeah, it's much better now than it was when I wrote the book. So now the Navy pilots, who have sort of been focused on a lot in America since 2017, there have been a lot of Navy pilots reporting events. And the Navy has actually now asked them to report. And the Navy has, ways that they can report. These are, the Air Force is much quieter about it. So we don't hear as much about from Air Force pilots, but we hear a lot from Navy pilots. And the big problem in America still is the commercial airlines. Just the airlines that fly people around.
Yes, because they
Those,
bring passenger.
yeah, passenger planes like the one over Alaska that was in my book. I mean, those pilots are afraid to report. They have the airlines and the FAA, which is, governs these
Yes.
air safety for all the airplanes. They don't have a mechanism for pilots, for commercial pilots, passenger planes to report things. So those pilots still have a problem, and a lot of them are afraid to report what they see. They don't want to impact their jobs. It's terrible, but it's better than it was when I wrote the book. It's definitely better all around since 2017 when this New York Times story came out. But it's especially better for the Navy pilots who have become very outspoken about sightings. And the case, the Nimitz case, the famous case with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tic.
Tic tac. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Those were Navy pilots. That's sort of how it all
Yes.
started. And then the other Navy pilots have come forward as well since that event happened. So we're making progress, but it's still slow for the pilots. They should all be reporting a lot more than they do, and there's still a stigma about it, especially in the passenger planes, with the passenger planes.
So,
Um,
based on many Navy pilots report, is it possible that UFO come from ocean rather than outer space?
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there are a lot of reports of them coming out of the ocean and going into the ocean, which I think is really amazing. Because when I wrote my book, I didn't know anything about those kinds of sightings. Now we're getting more reports of UFOs in the ocean, which is amazing. And submarines will detect them underwater, going really fast underwater, and people see them coming from the sky and going into the water. It's incredible. And also coming out of the water. So we're getting more cases like that. But the Navy pilots are usually reporting something they see in the sky, but sometimes in the water too. Yeah, because they're out on these big ships in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah,
So they'll see things in the water too. Absolutely. Yeah.
very, very interesting.
I know it's so interesting. I'm very interested in the ocean cases. Fascinating.
And there is other question in the comment section. Hello,
Mhm.
Mrs. Kane. It looks like there is some restriction for active military personnel to report or talk about UFO in USA. Do you
Right.
think there is any NDA that clearly states regarding this?
Yeah, I think for some of them, especially some of the cases that happened in the past when things were much more secret, a lot of them had to sign NDAs or they had to sign something, you know, saying that they wouldn't talk about it. They were told not to talk about it absolutely directly. You are not to say anything about this. Sign this piece of paper here. You're going to be in trouble if you say anything. They were threatened. That happened a lot. I think today it's not as bad, but there are many witnesses who have have reported that they had to sign papers restricting them. And certain security, I mean, there's certain levels of security clearances that people have where it's part of, if something is classified and secret, they're not allowed to talk about it. And everybody agrees they shouldn't, because if it's really sensitive, you don't want our adversaries. You don't want the Russians or the Chinese or any other adversarial nations that are competing with the America. You don't want them to know. about certain things that we might have, like certain things about the technology. So there's often a good reason why these high level cleared people with secret clearances are not talking about things because they want to protect the information from our enemies, right?
Yes.
And so you have to draw the line of what is safe to talk about and what isn't. So there's good reason sometimes for them to have, to keep things secret. It's a delicate situation about when is it okay to talk about something and when is it not. And they have to deal with that all the time. The people that have the clearances that they want to make things public, but they have to be very careful that they don't release information that would be a threat to our national security, basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what do you think about this disclosure? Do you think the disclosures will bring create impact in UFO movement?
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's trying hard to make it happen. Yeah, in America. I mean, everybody's putting pressure on the government, and there's legislation that we're trying to pass, which would basically allow for a gradual disclosure. The UAP Disclosure Act. Have you heard of that?
I don't know.
Yeah, in America, it's called the UAP Disclosure Act, and it's legislation that lays out a plan for disclosure officially. And for 2 years, it hasn't passed. It's been written, but the government didn't allow it to pass. So they're trying again this year to get it passed, which would
Uh,
be, it's very hard though, because there's always people who oppose it, you know? It's very hard for disclosure to happen legally because so many people are trying to stop it. But there is laws. There are laws in America, or people who have written law legislation which would eventually be law if it passes. Has to pass the Senate and the House. And then, if that happens, then we have a legal pathway to a disclosure, an official pathway, but it hasn't happened yet. And so I don't
okay.
know. And,
So
so
the government does not pass about UFO. I mean UAP Act.
it hasn't passed it, even though it's been written and
Yeah,
sponsored
yeah,
by
yeah.
the Senate, but it hasn't actually gone through and gotten all the votes it needs, to become law. That's the problem. That has to get a certain number of votes by the Senate and the House. And so they keep trying every year to do it again. That's what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
In your books, in this book, you said about if I'm not mistaken, you said that the two hypotheses the maybe are the most possibly about UFO origins. It's from outer space and dimensional approaching. And now, uh, do you think it's still is do you think it is the same? I mean, do you have any development theory about their origins? And
Yeah, that's
yeah.
definitely way more complicated. When I wrote that book, everything was so simple, right?
Yes.
Either extraterrestrial or it was man-made, basically. Now there's all these other options that people talk about, right? That some people think that the UFOs have been here on our planet, that they're here all the time, that they call it the ultra-terrestrial hypothesis, that they're
Yes.
actually living on the Earth somewhere, and maybe even under the ocean. Maybe they have bases under the ocean. I mean, it's hard to imagine since there are so many that we see that
Yes.
they're coming from outer space, right? So some people think that they're actually on the Earth and they may have been here longer than we have been, even. And some people think maybe they come from another dimension. Like they come through some kind of portal from some other. dimension of reality. I mean, it's like nobody really knows, but I think people think much more broadly now and about all these different possibilities than they did when I was writing my book, where it was much simpler. People didn't know as much about UFOs then. So now that we know more, there's just so many different options about where they're coming from. And maybe they're coming from a lot of different places.
Yeah,
There
like
are
like
some water and some that are from space and some that are on the earth. And I don't know. I wish I knew.
And which one is your favorite theory about the
Well, that's a
origin?
good question. I really don't know. I think it's maybe a combination of different origins. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's possible. I really do believe that it's possible that they are on the earth living with us and that they've been here for a very long time. They're just good at concealing themselves. They can be invisible, they can, be very easy to avoid detection if they want to. So I think it's possible they're here all the time. I just don't know, but I'm open to any hypothesis. I don't
Huh.
know.
This
Yeah.
is remind me about something. Uh, Based on my experience interview with some of witnesses,
Hmm.
they they have something that I think is linked when they saw UFO at first time.
Hmm.
Um, they saw something like star.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looked like a star.
yeah,
It
like
looked like,
star, and suddenly it changed the form, changed the shape.
wow. Change
Yeah,
shape.
yeah, like what I told you about the Delta UFO
Yeah.
witnessed by Arya Dharma and his
So
brother.
fascinating. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they saw like a star and then
Mhm.
moving from I think from the start point to the left and the bottom, and
Yeah.
suddenly in diagonal lines, and the star suddenly bigger than the first
Right. Right.
and suddenly disappear.
And then they disappear. Yeah, people say that all the time. Just all of a sudden they're gone.
Gone.
Right?
And this brother saw to the sky something unusual, bigger
Yeah.
than jet fighter, and the shape is deltoid. And they saw from the start to the end, and suddenly the sky changed into dark 4 a.m. into around 5:30 a.m.
And
But
it got dark, even though it's supposed to be light at that time, right?
yeah, and the thing is just around 50 minutes, but that's not possible, 50 minutes.
That's a long time. Yeah. So they lost some time there.
They don't know. They still don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating. I know you get so many there's such a variety of strange reports
And
that it's hard to believe they're all one thing. They're all one origin. There's so many different types of sightings, right?
yeah, and one thing, Mrs. Kane, uh, there are no sound.
Right. You're
Some
right.
some 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 witness tell to me that there are no sound, no star in the sky, and suddenly the UFO appears or the phenomena appears.
It's fascinating. So many people say there's no sound.
Yes. Do you know
Even
what
though
happened?
it's
Why no
track,
sound?
no sound, like the ones in Phoenix, Arizona, they were huge, but
Yes.
no sound. Amazing.
So in the Phoenix there were two UFO or just one UFO?
No, there was maybe even three. There were multiple UFOs. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And they were able to trace the journey of the UFOs because
yes.
people were calling up from all across the state and they were traveling. So they kept getting calls from different locations. So they were able to map where the UFOs were. And there was definitely more than one. Yeah. Gigantic. People said they were like as big as a football field,
Yes, gigantic.
and low, fairly low. So they could really see them and they made no sound. They were just kind of gliding. It's just
Yes,
phenomenal.
yes.
No sound. Yeah. It's a common feature. Sometimes people say there's a sort of buzzing sound, but usually they're silent,
Yes.
right? It's just, yeah. So it's hard to, it's amazing technology.
And what make me still confused is if someone heard about a sound, it is like sound of something so silent, but there is a sound. And the strange is only this person who hear about this sound, like the witness is already chosen to saw the phenomena.
The witnesses, what? I couldn't hear you.
uh,
The witness,
it is like the witness is
yeah,
chosen by the UFO to watch
right.
to watch the event.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I still don't understand about that. Why 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 they pick people or just want to show in the front of a lot of people like Phoenix.
I don't understand it either. Why are they doing, why are they showing themselves? We don't know. It's so strange, right? I
But
just know. They want to maybe see how people respond. I don't know.
but is it possible that someday, maybe some years, we can uh find the answer, the truly answer?
I
To,
hope so, very much. I hope so. Maybe never, but maybe we will find an answer. I don't know. I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
would,
yeah.
so many people want the answer. And we learn more all the time. So we know more and more over time how
Yes.
those behave and what they're like. But we still don't know really anything about their intention or why they're here or why they show themselves or what they want. All of those questions. We don't know
Yeah.
where are they from. We don't know the answers to those questions. We just know more about how they behave, right? And what they look like, and maybe more about the technology, but we don't know what's behind it and why they're doing what they're doing. I just don't think we really know anything about that. But I'm sure there's a lot that's kept secret too. So maybe the
Yeah.
government knows more about that. But I just can't imagine how they would understand the intention of the unless they're communicating with them.
Yes.
I
We
don't know.
learn about them every time, but at the same time, they keep secret to us.
Yeah, right. They want to show themselves, but only so much.
Yeah.
They're never going to do it enough to really be definitive about any of it, unless they decide to for some reason. But they're so, the UFOs are very secretive themselves. But they still show themselves. So I don't know. I don't know what any of it means really. We just have to ponder and think about it.
Yeah, it's still confusing until now.
Oh, right.
You,
I know. Maybe we'll have the
yeah.
answer someday. I don't know.
When you finish this book, maybe a lot of people at this time still confusing, and now we learn more and still confused.
Exactly. Right. The more you learn, the more questions you have, right?
Yes.
I feel that way all the time. I mean, I still don't know who they are, why they do it, why they're here, where they're from. We don't know though. We only know more about the technology itself, not about all those interesting questions are haven't not been answered.
And some people feel bored about this because because they have no answer till now, and they gave up, and yeah.
I hope they don't give up. I mean, I don't think we should ever give up. There's always more to learn, and maybe someday we will have the answers. If enough people keep asking the questions. Maybe we'll find the answers. Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
But but I think it's up to the UFOs. It's up to the phenomenon whether they're going to tell us that, they're going to let us see things or not. I feel like they are in control, not us, right?
Yes.
Not up to us, it's up to them. To tell us, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
control, not us. So they'll reveal to us what they want when they want. It's not really, we're not going to, it's not our choice, it's their choice.
But one thing that is still frustrating us is this is our planet. This is our planet. But it's
Maybe,
up to us, up to them. I mean,
yeah, maybe it's their planet. Maybe they got here before we did.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe it's not our planet. We just think it is. I don't know, but that's a theory that we think it's our planet, but really it's not. I don't
yeah.
know.
Maybe this is their planet. We don't know.
Oh, maybe they were here before us. I don't
uh,
know. But I don't know. Gary Nolan, who's this very famous UFO investigator and scientist in America. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's at Stanford University. He just did an interview recently, like 2 days ago, where he said he thought that maybe this real estate of the planet Earth belongs to someone else, not to, maybe it's not our property, it's someone else's, it's their property. It's possible. And he has a lot of authority, and he made that statement. That they could have been here before us, and it's their planet, not ours. And we're ruining the planet,
yes,
right?
yes,
Destroying it. We're overpopulating it. We're destroying
yes,
the environment. So who knows whether they might at some point be concerned about that? I don't know. Or I don't know where it's going to go, but it's disturbing. And also they're clearly concerned about the nuclear weapons that we have on this
yes.
planet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Concerned about the climate change and the environmental destruction too, and all of that.
yeah.
We'll see what happens, but I wish we could behave better.
Yes,
Uh,
you're right. We
no,
must to behave better.
I wish we
So we hope they can show up. Yeah, show up in maybe easily to record in video or something like that.
would be so great,
Yeah.
right? To make
Uh,
it percent certain that they are here and they're not from Earth, they're not human. If they could make that 100% certain, then we would have disclosure, right?
okay, yeah.
They could decide for us to have disclosure at any time they want. All they have to do is just show us what we need to know to have it. So it's kind of, they could do a lot more than they're doing. Um, but so we'll see. Maybe they will because we're destroying the planet. Maybe they'll want to help save the planet. I don't know.
Yes.
It would be great if they could show up and teach us some things and tell us we have to stop misbehaving and we have to protect the environment because they
Yeah.
didn't do it, then we would get our act together, probably. I don't know. I don't know. It's idealistic to think that way, and maybe it wouldn't work. Maybe then everybody would be terrified, and I don't know what would happen. But it's wishful thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we reflect to ourselves that we made so many mistakes and pollution, overpopulated,
Terrible.
terrible.
We've made so many mistakes, and I don't know if I don't think we can reverse it at this point, but
Yes.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, Mrs. Kane, maybe it is last question because
Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
we spend a lot of your time. I'm sorry. Maybe you are busy or maybe you want
That's
to take
fine.
rest. Maybe it is
That's
a last question. If you were to write a revised edition today, what new cases or individuals would you include in your maybe new
uh,
revision of this book?
That's a great question. I'd certainly include the Nimitz case. You
Limits.
know, the case of Tic
Tic Tac.
Tac. I mean, but the thing is, everybody already knows about it, so I don't need to write a book about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the cases now come out on the internet, and people do
Yes.
podcasts, and everybody knows already about these cases. And when I wrote my book, nobody knew about it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's certainly one of the cases that stands out. And then all the sightings that are taking place off the various coasts of the United States by the Navy pilots, like that Ryan Graves has talked about. Are you
Yes.
familiar with Ryan Graves?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting Navy sightings. And then there was the Stevensville case in 2011 that I didn't write about in my book because I was actually writing the book when that happened in Texas. There were some interesting sightings in Texas in 2011. But
20.
yeah, I think it was
Stephenville. Stephen.
Stevensville.
Oh, Stephen.
Stevensville. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with that case. And there are other military cases that I would write about for sure, but I feel like I don't need to so much now because people know about them. I also help make, I'm involved with making documentary series on UFOs now instead of writing books because more people watch things than read now. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm helping to produce a series. It's called UFOs Investigating the Unknown. It's probably not available in Indonesia, but we're doing season 3 now. I've done 2 seasons already. And it's on, I don't know, do you have Hulu by any chance in Indonesia, the
Yeah. Yeah.
streaming?
Yeah. Hulu. Hulu.
You have Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay, well
Hulu.
this series that I helped produce and I'm very involved in is on Hulu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch it, and we cover a lot of really interesting cases in there. It's called UFOs Investigating the Unknown.
Wait.
And there's,
I want to write UFO in
yeah,
first.
UFO and then colon
Oh yeah.
investigating unknown. And it's on Hulu. 2 seasons are on Hulu now. And we're in the process of producing the third season now. But I think you would enjoy watching those 2 seasons. There's 6 episodes in each season. Yeah, so I'm on the camera and I'm producing and I'm very involved with making that series. So those would be some of the cases that I would include in a book. They're on that in that documentary series. Yeah,
Oh, I
you can watch
see.
it. I think you would enjoy it. I hope you can watch it.
Okay, I will inform this documentaries to my friends so
Wonderful.
they can
But watch
enjoy.
it. Like it. I don't know if you can get subtitles in Indonesian on it, but maybe everybody speaks English. I don't know.
Yeah, Hulu using English subtitle rather than Indonesia is not included in Hulu.
No,
Yeah.
it's on Disney Plus. If you have
Okay.
Disney, it's on that too. Both of those.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I thought that Hulu was not available anywhere except America, but I guess I'm wrong. I'm glad you have it.
We can use like a VPN to access Hulu.
Oh yeah, that's right. And also Disney Plus is more international, so you might have that. It's
Yes.
easier. It's on both of those channels and on National Geographic because it was a National Geographic series. So you might be able to get it. Yeah, somebody's
Yeah,
typing Disney.
Disney Plus. Yes.
It's supposed to be on Disney Plus. If it's not there, you let me know because then we'll get mad at them and tell them to put it there because it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be on Disney Plus in all different countries. So I hope it is.
Yeah. So thank you for your time, Mrs. Kane.
Welcome. So welcome.
So we are very glad that you available and discuss with us. Thank you very much. And would you mind if we take a picture in the Zoom?
Oh, of
Like
course. Go right ahead.
take a
Sure.
screenshot. Wait.
Oh, thank you. Someone is saying congratulations on the third season. We hope that the third season will come out. We're still in the process of trying to get a budget for it, but I think it will. Well, it's nice to see
Okay.
everybody. You're all hiding. They all hide when we're talking.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they're
nice to,
alien. They're alien.
very nice to
Okay,
see everyone.
maybe all of you can open the camera so we can take a picture.
Nice to see everybody. I'm so glad you're all interested in this. Yeah,
Wait.
we have a few
Okay, we can take picture.
sliding.
Okay, one, two, three. Okay,
Take,
nice.
yeah. And
Okay,
so I hope you have good luck with all your investigations on UFOs. And
okay,
maybe we can have another conversation in a year, maybe, or something. Some other time, I get to hear more about what you guys are all doing. I'd love
okay.
to hear about
We
what's
will,
happening.
we will.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be really interesting. I'm so glad you're interested, and everybody in this group is interested. It's wonderful to meet you all.
yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Kane, once again, and good evening and have a nice dream.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
too. Very
Thank
nice to
you.
meet you all. I hope it was interesting, and we'll talk again sometime.
Yes,
Okay?
we will. Okay.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
Have a good day. I'm gonna have a good night. You have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Nice to meet you. Bye
Nice
bye.
to meet you too.